So now you have what we call a bunch of open codes. And this is not this is the start of the most important part of evals, which is called error analysis. And something that's very approachable to everyone. And it's very important for product managers to be involved in this, because a lot of times engineers don't have the full context to know if this is good or bad. And so what you end up having is you have, let's say, a bunch of these like notes. So I have a spreadsheet open right now with a collection of all the notes that I took. And, let's say I did 100 of these. I actually found 40 or so different errors. You might find different number of errors if you're doing it. But here's a collection of these like notes. Okay, great. So up until this step, you've already learned quite a lot. If you look at 100 traces, you're going to learn and you're going to understand your system better than anyone else. And you're going to have a really like deep understanding of what is wrong. And you might also have a pretty good sense of what you need to work on next already without doing any analysis. But it's really good to do analysis of these notes that you took. So how do you do this analysis? So the next step is you categorize these notes. So the term for that is called axial coding. And I'm going to show you how to do this in a spreadsheet. So let me just zoom out a little bit. But first, one thing you can do is, you can take these and you can put them into ChatGPT or Claude. So what I did is I took sort of the logs and I said, okay, please analyze. I exported it from here. So, let me go back. So there's an export button here. And I said, okay, download as CSV. Downloaded it, put it in Claude, and I said, hey, there's a metadata field which has a nested field called znote that contains all the open codes. And I use the word open codes because that's a term of art that LLMs understand. Because these terms, open coding and axial coding, which you mentioned, open coding is the writing of the notes. That's actually a term that's well understood in the field of machine learning, but also it's been around before machine learning. It's been used in the social sciences. This kind of process of open coding, axial coding, is a thing that LLMs understand. And so I just say there's a metadata field, which has a nested field called znote that contains open codes for analysis of LLM logs, which are, that we're conducting. Please extract all the different open codes and then propose 5 to 6 categories that we can create axial codes from. Okay? And then it'll kind of go through and you can get these categories. So here's some categories capability limitations, measure representation. Some of these I don't like because they're a little bit too broad. They're not actionable. I'm actually not 100% sure what that means, so I might look into it and rename it a bit. Human handoff issues. There's certainly some of that. That's when, hey, you want to escalate to human being or hand off to human being, but it's not doing it properly. Temporal contextual awareness, doesn't know what the current date and time is. So there's some categories here. You can refine this. What I like to do is take it to a spreadsheet. So I have some categories that I kind of have that I maybe have from ChatGPT, and then I kind of look at them and edit them. So I kind of have these categories that I sort of edited a bit. And I said, okay, let me just collect these into a list. So that's what this formula does, is I just collecting these list of categories into a list. That's all that is.
I have a note here.
Yeah.
Sometimes so I think one of the things that's very interesting from looking at your Claude is a lot of those axial codes are very vague, right? Like quality or temporal issues. And you kind of want to make sure your actual axial codes are not so vague, because imagine you're giving them to somebody else to do some labeling with, right? Like something like conversational flow issues might be a little bit better. Honestly, we could even make it a little bit more specific. But something like temporal issues, right? Like if Hamill told me to go label with temporal issues category, I wouldn't even know what he means. I would want to say date formatting error or like something like that, right? So I think that's another place where people get tripped up, which is, just taking things out of the LLM as is and not really thinking about, okay, how do I refine that in a way that's going to give me meaningful error categories?
Exactly right. And that's a really important thing to pay attention to. And that's why if you reflect on the categories I have in this spreadsheet, they're definitely better than the ones in the Claude.
Yeah, they're different for a reason.
It's because I iterated on in a bit. And that's an important principle. You never want to completely hand off the wheel to AI. You want to think about what it's saying. Maybe it helps you to different degrees, but you want to see, okay, like what are the categories here? And actually, you might want to go back and forth.
If you've been enjoying this demo on how to do AI evals, you are going to love Hamel and Shreya's course. It is the top grossing course on Maven. It is taken by people from OpenAI to Anthropic to Google to Meta. All of the top AI companies are taking this course to improve their evals. I have secured a massive 35% discount for you guys. So use code AG-EVLAS so that you can get this course. You can learn even more in detail how to write great evals, how to build great AI products that are working in production. Check it out at maven.com and look for their course and type in code AG-EVLAS. That means it will only cost you $2,275. The next version of their course starts on October 6th. I hope you enjoyed that short clip. You can check out the full episode here.